Yeah, right. Like that's ever gonna happen. What a load of... What the hell, man? That was my last bottle of strawberry syrup!
Sorry, Wait, why do you have that in here?
What, a girl can't enjoy a glass of strawberry milk in her own bath?
I guess you can.
Get out!
Please, could you just do this
I'm
one?
not doing anything until you pay me back for my strawberry syrup!
Yes, absolutely. Do you have Apple Pay?
No.
Oh, sorry, I thought you had an iPhone.
No, I do. It's just like, one time I paid with the wrong card, it didn't have enough money on it, and it made the app glitch out for some reason, and now I can't even receive new funds through Apple Pay.
Oh, sorry. That really sucks.
It's more annoying than anything. Anyway, do you have Venmo?
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
Cool.
Oh, can you confirm your phone number for me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And sent.
Cool.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure. What?
So, this is your home, right?
Yeah,
It's not a hotel or public bathroom?
that's right.
Why do you have a urinal?
Well, my fans seem to like it when I talk about urinals. Gotta give the people what they want.
I see. Well, hey, as long as you're giving the people what they want.
Fine, I'll review you.
Yes!
Contrary to what my Blood and Honey 1 review might have you believe, I was actually interested in revisiting this franchise. It's clear from even a cursory reading of Frank Waterfield and Chambers' interviews that they were not expecting the project to get nearly as much attention as it did. With more eyes on them and more resources than they could have ever imagined, they were emboldened to fully realize the potential of future franchise installments. That brings us to two. Does this sequel pick up the slack where the original faltered? Could it even be a solid film in its own right? Let's get to the bottom of this honeypot and take a look at Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. Why didn't they call it 2 Blood 2 Honey? 0 out of 10. Hey y'all, if you're enjoying so far, be sure to subscribe and click the bell to all notifications below. And now, on with the video. Like its predecessor, this film's opening sequence treats us to a warm yet solemn narrator and storybook-style visuals. The narrator catches us up to speed on Christopher Robin, who, after being sidelined in the first film, is now our protagonist. Rumors have circulated through Chris's hometown of Ashdown that he's responsible for Pooh and Piglet's killing spree, which has come to be known as the 100-Acre Massacre. Local filmmakers have even begun producing a horror movie based on the massacre. Oh no, my boy's getting chicken-littled! Well, unlike Zach Braff Chicken, Chris is still loved by his parents, as well as his sister Helen, or Bunny as she insists being called, and a handful of his lifelong friends. Unfortunately, their support cannot eclipse Chris's continued ostracization, which escalates to him losing his job as junior doctor at Ashdown Hospital. His supervisor even cites the movie as a reason behind Chris's dismissal. Gosh, this movie sure is being brought up a lot. I wonder if we'll actually get to see—
Hey, wait a minute.
Wait, is this a fucking play about us?
Yep, that's right. This sequel frames the first movie as a film within the film. And not gonna lie, this is kind of brilliant. Not only does this provide an in-narrative explanation for the recasts and redesigns without a blanket retcon, but it also leverages our audience responses to Chris's actions in the previous film. As I noted in my Blood and Honey 1 review, that movie condemns Chris as careless and ineffectual. By placing Chris in a protagonist role for the sequel and recontextualizing the first film as a real movie in-universe, we as an audience are intuitively on board with just how the town views him. The movie within a movie concept also helps support an intriguing meta-narrative in the film. The in-universe release of Blood and Honey is framed as the final nail in the coffin in terms of tarnishing Chris's character. His ostracization could be thought of as analogous to the real-life hate campaign lobbied against the filmmakers. Supporting this idea even further is the fact that Chris in this movie is played by none other than Scott Chambers, co-creator of the Blood and Honey franchise. As such, Chris' redeeming himself in the eyes of his community could be thought of as a direct allegory for Chambers and Frank Waterfield redeeming themselves in the eyes of the film-going public. Suffice it to say, I'm along for the ride. Also, you gotta love the cheeky, self-deprecating attitude they take toward the first movie. Not only does this film show what is arguably the original's worst VFX shot, but they add in this purposefully cringy line that wasn't even in the original film. Considering certain other filmmakers who get meta with their franchises as an excuse to glaze their own work, it's refreshing to see Frank Waterfield and Chambers laugh at themselves. That humility makes the utter glow-up on display hit that much harder. Speaking of which, the special effects and general technical elements have all been ramped up to the nth degree. Sure, there's the occasional iffy blood splatter, but otherwise, this film is more than capable of delivering on the thrills. Now, I didn't mind the poor visuals that much in the first movie, since that one focused far more on the character, suspense, and atmosphere, but I am more than happy for this new direction for the franchise. Frank Waterfield and Chambers deliver a solid gore-fest in a similar vein to those of Sam Raimi and Damien Leone. Granted, this film isn't quite as graphic as Evil Dead or Terrifier, but there's more than enough campy over-the-top violence to satisfy splatter fans. Equally as satisfying as the kills are the monsters performing them. The film's 4 monsters...
Fuck off!
3 monsters each bring something different to the table and make for an exciting group dynamic. First up, we have Tigger. The build-up to his reveal, the dialogue exchange that cements said reveal.
Fuck it, let's bounce.
That's my line.
And the sadistic carnage he wreaks all make for a deliciously devilish baddie. I will say, as fun as he was, I feel as though there was some missed potential. Between his extended claws and propensity to call his victims bitch, the Freddy Krueger inspiration is far too on the nose. Like, come on, how hard would it have been to have Tigger wield a knife with his tail and bounce people to death? Backseat writing aside, I did enjoy Tigger's appearance in this movie, but I'd be remiss not to point out the lack of creativity. Between the two newcomers, Owl was actually the big scene stealer to me. His distinct design, unique abilities, and role as the group provocateur make him stand out compared to the relatively animalistic Pooh and Tigger. But don't let that fool you. Owl gets to shine in plenty of his own grisly moments. Other than the times that he gets to stoop his prey, which are awesome, a highlight for me is when he vomits acid on his victim's face. Not only is this uniquely gross and gruesome, but it's an actual defense mechanism observed in real-life birds of prey. Kinda wish they'd taken some of those same nature-inspired notes when writing Tigger, but whatever. As for Pooh Bear himself, we'll talk more about him in a little bit, as I really can't say much without getting into major spoilers. Quick side note, but I love the scene where Pooh and Owl play Pooh sticks with the limbs of Owl's victim. It's such a small detail, but I love how the filmmakers' efforts in twisting and perverting these childhood icons went further than, what if nice animal were scary? That much is also evident in details like filming in the actual 100-acre woods, naming the search engine Christopher Robin uses after the author of the original books, and so forth. Alright, so I've talked a lot about the more spectacle and meta aspects of this film, but what about narrative substance? Well, you may be surprised to hear, but in some ways, I actually think Blood and Honey 1 is more structurally sound as a story than the sequel. Don't get me wrong, I still hold that Blood and Honey 1 is ultimately a narrative failure, but taken in a vacuum as a story, I concede that Blood and Honey 1 is much better paced. Despite ineffective scares and misplaced creative ambition, the suspense, atmosphere, and build-up to those scares at least demonstrated the bones of a solid slasher. By contrast, Blood and Honey 2 is all over the place. We're constantly thrust back and forth between these quick kill scenes back into the main character drama. It ends up devaluing both. It's also worth mentioning that some filmmaking aspects undermine logic for the sake of stylization. The prime example I have of this is the home invasion scene. The scene begins with Lexi awaking Freddy, the boy she's babysitting, alerting him that someone has broken into the house, and instead of, I don't know, trying to escape out the window or calling 999, the two hide in a pillow fort, activate an RC camera car, and use it to scope out the situation downstairs. Now, I can understand the impetus to insert a unique suspense-building shot in your horror movie, and visually, I think the final product looks cool, but like, you see the problem with this, right? You know someone's broken in your house! Get the fuck out of there! And what makes this extra frustrating is that this shot could still have been incorporated while keeping the main character's intelligences intact. Freddy is established early on as a troublemaker. He sets booby traps around the house, none of which we actually get to see go off, by the way. He jumps out to scare Lexi, and his RC car is introduced before the home invasion scene. Oh, I hear you wonder. I bet he used it to spy on Lexi, and that's how we learned the car has a camera, right?
Wrong!
He just rams the car into her foot. We don't even learn the car has a camera until the invasion, thus making it feel like an ass pull on top of the already insulting inclusion of making your main characters act like idiots. All the filmmakers needed to do to keep this admittedly cool shot in the movie without throwing logic to the wind was the following. 1. Instead of establishing these booby traps that never go off anyway, and Freddy ramming the car into Lexi's foot, have Freddy spy on Lexi with the car, have her notice and reprimand him. 2. After Freddy and Lexi are settled into bed, have him use the car to spy on her once more. But instead of finding Lexi, he sees Pooh. 3. Have Freddy alert Lexi about the intruder, to which she replies something like, "Ugh, you've been watching too many of those scary movies." Then, commotion downstairs tips off Pooh's presence, leading to a dread-inducing escape and/or a terrifying chase sequence. Lucy! You're being a backseat writer again! Alright, fair enough, but you get my point, right? All the pieces were there to include this shot in the movie without dumbing down the characters. As is, I end up feeling not impressed or scared, but aggravated. But you know what? I can forgive some ultimately trivial leaps and lapses in logic so long as I'm entertained. What's much harder for me to forgive, however, is how the film utterly botches what could have been an actually shocking plot twist. Time for those major spoilers, by the way. So, the reveal that Pooh is Chris's long-lost twin brother Billy was so close to being executed brilliantly. The opening narration highlights the unique dichotomy between Christopher and Pooh as fellow outcasts, linking them thematically without being explicitly fraternal. The repressed memories revealed in Chris's hypnotherapy sessions and early encounters with Cavendish trickle bits of information to the audience at just the right pace. Chris's search results reveal Cavendish's connection to the disgraced geneticist Dr. Arthur Gallup. However, by having Cavendish explicitly state that he kidnapped Billy for Gallup's animal-human hybrid experiments, it pretty much spoils the twist then and there. If this scene wasn't here, or at least if Cavendish weren't so articulate and hyper-specific in his monologue, then this shot right here might have actually been an exciting reveal. But no. Instead, all the critical information is spoon-fed to us at the hour mark of this 90-minute movie. And we're left with practically zero tension to carry us through to the resolution. I will say, Pooh's single line in the film being intelligible as either "oh bother" or "no brother" is pretty raw, being equally satisfying for those invested in the black comedy and the character drama. And the resolution with Bunny relinquishing her Frankenstein's teddy bear guardian as a subtle indicator that Chris has redeemed himself and successfully defended the remaining loved ones in his life is also genuinely sweet. And the mid-credits revealed that the mutants can regenerate was genuinely surprising. But even still, I can't ignore the massive storytelling blunders that drag the experience down for me. So, is this film better than the first? Even with the caveats I outlined in mind, I would say, overwhelmingly, yes. Could I recommend it? It depends on what you're looking for. If you're into camp and splatter, then this could be a genuinely fun watch. If over-the-top gore isn't an inherent draw for you and you're looking for something with a little more meat on the bones, this movie will probably underwhelm you, if not gross you out. But do I like this movie? Honestly? yeah, I love camp, so there's more than enough to this movie to keep my attention. While I did lay into some logical and storytelling problems pretty hard, it's far from the most egregiously stupid stuff I've seen in a horror movie. And I can acknowledge that the problems I laid out could be remedied with relatively minor tweaks. Thus, I'm able to be a little lenient on said problems even if I can't ignore them entirely. All in all, I thought this was a fun movie that has me genuinely excited to see future installments in this franchise. And considering the first film was nowhere near enticing in that regard, that's gotta count for something. But that's just my opinion. What do you all think of this movie? What movies would you like to see me cover next? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed watching, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and click the bell to all notifications so you can see new videos from me as soon as they go live. My name is Luce, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Have a great one, y'all.